And we start with tonight's top story. The body of 6-year-old faye-wetlik made its way home this morning after an autopsy at MUSC in Charleston. Faye got a police escort with deputies from the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, leading her back to the Midlands. Hours later, she arrived in Lexington with people lining the roadways to pay their respects to Faye. Her journey ended at Kaufman Harmon Funeral Home. And we have told you all week about how Cayce investigators say Faye disappeared from her front yard on Monday after getting off the school bus. Law enforcement, including the FBI, spent days looking for her before announcing her body was found in a wooded area in her neighborhood on Thursday. Now, her death is being investigated as a homicide right now. Officials say the body of Cody Taylor, a neighbor, was also found. Investigators say they discovered a critical piece of evidence in the trash just outside of Taylor's home, leading them to Faye's body. His former school district released this photo of him to us. And police haven't said what that evidence is quite yet. All we know at this hour is that it led them to Faye's body in the woods between her home and a nearby store. Moments later, they found Taylor's body inside his home. And during yesterday's news conference, a spokesperson from the Cayce Department of Public Safety said finding Faye was one of the hardest days for many in their department.
My heart breaks for that family. As a parent, how do you go through that? We have a preschool not too far from here, and kids are out there playing on the playground as we pulled in. And as officers, we stopped and waved and made sure those kids saw us and smiled.
Details on the connection between Cody and Faye are still limited. Investigators confirmed he was not a relative or a friend, just a neighbor who lived nearby. His house was about 100 feet away from Faye's home, and officials say there's no suspects or arrest at this time. The Lexington County coroner says Faye's autopsy was completed today, but the results won't be announced until Tuesday, of course out of respect for her family. And as police work to piece things together, the community is coming together to remember Faye. Tonight, a vigil was held at the entrance of the Churchill Heights neighborhood, and both loved ones and strangers gathered to add to the growing memorial of flowers, stuffed animals, balloons, and candles, all to show that little Faye will never be forgotten. And Fox Carolina's Amber Worthy is continuing our coverage tonight live from Cayce. So Amber, I'm sure this community is really trying to pull together.
Her community says they are heartbroken by Faye's death, and they want to do everything they can to stand by her family and her loved ones. So they're building this memorial right outside of her home and just trying to show her family that they are here for them.
The community has to come together in a time like this. You can't do it alone.
These members of faye-wetlik's community want her family to know that they are not alone. They gathered at the entrance of Churchill Heights to shower them with love and show them that they will never forget Faye. These truckers lined the street to show their support. The 6-year-old disappeared earlier this week after getting off her school bus. Her body was found days later.
Knowing you don't think about that last second. I was telling my husband, we fuss at them when they walk in the door. Why'd you throw your shoes there? Why'd you throw your backpack there? I'm pretty sure her mom would give anything to see her come in and pick that stuff up.
Marquita Twitty is a mother of 3, and she says it's so hard to imagine. Another mother, Carol Lepp, says faith in God made her know that she had to show up for this family.
To help each other through times like this and remind us that He's here and He is the only way to make it through life's challenges.
Carol's daughter Madison drove by every day of the search, and now she'll see this memorial and be reminded of its tragic outcome.
I felt so bad. I didn't know what I could do, but there's nothing I can do to physically help, but just pray.
And that's to be here.
Yeah, and be here and support.
I just would be so overwhelmed. It's so much that you can't even fathom it or take it in.
And every parent says they are holding their children a little bit tighter tonight. Reporting live in Cayce, I'm Amber Worthy for Fox Carolina News.